Hey you guys, this is Superstar0717. In the last deck tech, I promised you guys a full match report of a pack tournament that I went to. I will post that down below, and if it doesn't fit, it's quite a long report. It's like 2 pages on Word. If it doesn't fit, I'll find a way to give it to you guys. I don't know how I would do that, but we're going to go ahead and give that to you guys. I pulled pretty well from the packs. I got an extra Huntmaster. I already have my playset. And if my buddy doesn't want to make the deck, I'm going to go ahead and give that out as a prize. Also, I don't have my Immerwolves yet. My buddy, same guy, let me borrow his playset. And so I have 2 playsets coming in, so I'll also be doing a contest for those Immerwolves. So stay tuned for that. So onto the deck. You'll see I have in front of you 2 of the best cards in the deck. You have your Full Moon's Rise and your FMR, Full Moon's Rise and your Moonmist. Now all day these cards were just money all day. Full Moon's Rise being very similar to an Honor of the Pure, except it gives only +1/0 and everything has trample. You can sacrifice it to regenerate. And Moonmist, basically it transforms all humans, prevents all combat damage other than damage from wolves and werewolves. Now, with that being said, Delver is obviously a huge deck right now. And with Moonmist, you can pretty much neutralize one of their biggest threats is the turn 1 Delver Blind Flip. Actually, it's their turn 2 Blind Flip. And just that alone is huge, especially after you do it to them once. They'll become very apprehensive to attack you. This card just, we can't really do much against flyers. And so whenever they have their Geist attacking with the 4/4, that probably has some bonuses on it. You can use this to also save yourself. You can chump block their Geist and do this and get rid of it and things like that. Just all day, especially against green white humans, I believe. He tried to alpha strike me, or do a huge amount of damage, and he didn't think I had it in hand. I activated it, declared blockers, and his field basically got nuked. Full Moon's Rise put in a lot of work. I think twice I got Day of Judgmented, sacked it, regenerated everything. I got Ratchet Bombed once, same thing, sacked it, whatever. But I didn't get hit with as much mass removal as I thought. I still want to keep it in the deck as a 4/0 for when I go to an actual FNM, which is today. And so with that being said, I obviously want to keep it at 4. I feel there's going to be more mono red, things like that run Slag Storms, etc., etc. And it's just a good card, just in case. So let's go on and talk about the individual cards. So you'll see I have these in clear sleeves. I don't actually play with them in clear sleeves, so just know that, in case you guys think I do. So Reckless Waif. Now, for the longest time I didn't like Waif. She was good, but it was like seldom she was good. And even though today she only flipped about 30 or 40% of the time turn 1, I would say probably closer to 30. When she did, just the pressure you put on right away is amazing. So she's a 1/1, and when you flip her, she's a 3/2. So if you have an FMR or a Mayor of Avabruck, actually just FMR, she can swing for 4 on turn 2 with trample, which is amazing. That is just ridiculous on turn 2 to be able to swing for 4. And that's one of your 1-drops that you run 4 of. In the new deck, you'll see that I switched to a more heavier red version. And obviously I felt that there was just too much of a gaping hole to Mirian Crusader. Whenever she gets pumps, even on her own, if you have a Moonmist in your hand, she can take down a Mirian Crusader. With all the pumps that we have, it makes it a little bit easier as well to take down bigger threats like Hero Bladeholds and whatnot. And with that being said, it just put in work all day long. When I got it and it stuck and it flipped, it was just ridiculous. Even without it being flipped with Moonmist, it was still pretty good. And after they got hit for 4 on turn 2, they would gut shot this a lot of players. And so the gut shot freed up my Mayors and freed up my other cards, and so I had absolutely no problem with that. So she put in work all day. I kind of missed having her in the deck. And turn 1 Waif was actually really devastating for my opponent. So up next we're running the 4 Wolfbitten Captive still. Wolfbitten Captive put in a lot of work all day long. Swinging for like at least 6 on the flip side is always good. Even if you didn't have the turn 2 Full Moon's Rise or the Mayor, you can leave your mana open. If they try to swing and do it, tap 2 and just chump block something, which is amazing because it's a 3/3, which on turn 2 a lot of things won't be swinging for 3, and that's just huge in itself. On the flip side, giving itself +4/4 for 4 mana is extremely awesome, because oftentimes you'll stack those with a couple FMRs, some Lords, and you'll be swinging with a huge card that is your basically you got for 1 mana. He put in work a lot. Immerwolf and him was just nasty because you would control the board even if you just attacked, and then you'd have your mana open, wait for them to declare or not declare. If they didn't, you can pump it. If they did and you wanted it off the board, you can pump it, obviously. So all day this card just put in work. I really love the 2 1-drops. Obviously, you know, Young Wolf was a good card, but Young Wolf just doesn't get the pumps that this guy does. If Waif flips and you have an FMR or a Mayor of Avabruck flip to pump it up, it is just ridiculous. This guy doesn't get all the pumps. He can't be sacked with FMR. He does get the protection from Moonmist, but I thought that I needed more protection from Mirran Crusader, and if you can take out a Mirran Crusader with your 1-drop, then you're doing pretty good for yourself. So the 2 1-drops put in a lot of work all day. Now, Mayor of Avabruck, last set, he was he had such a target on him every time I dropped him. He was really good, obviously. He was Lord, he pumped everybody. But now he's kind of taking a backseat. There are a lot better cards. I wouldn't say a lot better cards, but there's a lot of cards that will hurt your opponent a lot faster than this guy. And so he really sticks on the board now. That is one thing that I noticed. This was my first real time playing against live opponents, other than playtesting at my apartment. But whenever I played, you know, non-friendly people, they would, you know, nuke my Immerwolves, they would nuke my Huntmasters, they would nuke my Daybreak Rangers, they would nuke my Gatstaf Shepards, and this guy would just stick and pump tokens and do everything, and it was ridiculous, and it was just amazing. I love being able to swing with all your guys, and then at the end of turn generate yourself a token for each Mayor you have, and the token will be pumped by a bunch of other things. I think that that's just a huge ability to play off of, and it really lets you alpha strike pretty handily, pretty often. Another card, which was my sleeper hit, which I just didn't expect would do very well, was Gatstaf Shepard. Now I know in the heavy green version I was running Stranglerootgeist. I think both of them are good cards. It just depends on the deck you want to run. Basically, Gatstaf Shepard on his own isn't very good, especially on flipped. Stranglerootgeist on its own will do very well for you. It has haste and undying, obviously. You can use it to block, you can use it to attack, obviously, things like that. But when you flip your Gatstaf to Gatstaf Howler, he becomes a 3/3 with Intimidate. Now, 3 of 7 of the top meta decks won't be able to block him. Period. He just will be able to get in there. Obviously, if you have the FMRs and your Mayors, he's huge. But you begin to see how that becomes a problem for your opponent. And that's why I say cards like Mayor of Avabruck stick a little bit longer, because when they're getting hit for 4 or 5 a turn, maybe even 6 or 7, and it puts them on a clock, they need to get rid of this guy. That is their major priority. They're going to Fiend Hunter, they're going to O-Ring it, they're going to, you know, Incinerate, they're going to try to do whatever it takes to get it off the board, because this card literally puts them on a clock. Stranglerootgeist, you know, they can block it once, you know, late game, they can block it again, and then it's pretty useless. But if you can flip this guy and keep him flipped, he is just devastating all game. And that's the reason why on my side deck I said I was going to add a third one, just for those matchups where they're not running artifacts, side it in and just get some free hits in. It was a good card all day long. Now, Kruin Outlaw was the best card all day long. I really missed running her in the mono green version, and I was really excited whenever I decided to make the switch back to the red green version. Double red, I was able to hit double red about 90% of the time on turn 3. There was once when I didn't hit it, and I was a little disappointed because I felt like I would have easily won the game, and I hit it turn 4, and you know, I still won that game, but I felt, you know, I was just like, man, you know, maybe if my mana base was a little bit different. But I think for, you know, the amount of time that I had to switch the deck up, the mana base was actually pretty decent. I was running 3 of these. Flip side just destroyed people all day. They would have to really decide how many creatures did they want to send into the red zone. You know, how many could they afford to block? What if I had a Moonmist in hand? Even just her on this side, you know, what if I had a Moonmist in hand, and then next turn they couldn't block with anything, you know, how much damage would they take? Or if I had another FMR and a Moonmist, you know, it was just things like that my opponent would, you know, really consider, you know, the play really, really deeply, and every time that they did it, either I punished them with a full Moon's Rise or a Moonmist or things like that. And this card, I would say, won me about 80% of my games. Just with her ability to take up 2 blockers is just ridiculous. Now, whenever, I think a couple videos ago, like way, way long ago, I told you guys not to sack your FMRs for 1 creature, because if you do, it's just a 1-for-1. In the tournament twice, I sacked an FMR to save this guy, just because she's that good. This is the only wolf I would say that, you know, really, you would need to sack the FMR for. It's really worth it. And, you know, obviously I won that game. But, you know, like I said, you know, sometimes you have to really think. And the only reason I sacked it was because I had nothing really in hand, and my field was nuked except for this guy. And so I chump blocked and then sacked and regenerated it. And so obviously, you know, just play smart. You know, if you really need it and you don't want to give it board presence, sack the FMR, save your Kruins, and then go on the beats next turn. Now this guy, I didn't put in as much work as I would have liked to with this guy. I think I shot down 2 or 3 tokens that was flying with the day side, and on the night side I took out a couple hero blade holds, which I guess is all you could ask for, but I was really hoping, I didn't draw them often enough, and I was really hoping just to be able to tap and just fight, and then tap and then fight, and then start nuking their field. And obviously, you know, expectations versus reality. It didn't happen, but I wasn't too concerned. I feel like, you know, knocking out 3 2/2 flyers, and taking out 2 blade holds is really all you can ask for a card, especially as a 2-up. And so, you know, I guess, you know, you get, you know, that's how many I ran. I knew how often I was going to see it, and, you know, it worked out. I can't really complain. I wouldn't jump this to 3. I'm definitely not going to sideboard the 3rd copy like I did for the Gatstaf, because I feel like Gatstaf is just a tiny bit better right now. But really, it did good. You know, give it a try at 2 in your deck, and if you don't like it, take it out for something else. Now, this guy was just amazing all day long. Now, I've seen a lot of discussion on the Salvation forums about Huntmaster versus Instigator Gang, and it really just came down to the fact that Vaporsnag rapes Instigator Gang, and Vaporsnag does not really do much for your Huntmaster. Now, with that being said, obviously, you know, there are extremely aggro versions. Mine is an aggro version, but it's not terribly aggro. It's more of like a mid-range. You know, obviously you'll get in there for 4 turn 2, but then you start late game if they nuke your board or something like that. You can stabilize really well with Huntmaster. You drop it, you get your wolf token, you know, you flip it, you nuke something on their field. And in the blog, I told you guys my play of the game. I cast this. Hang on, let me see. I cast this, got my wolf token, and I cast a Moonmist, so he flipped. I nuked his Delver, hit him for 2. He was like at really low life. He was like at 5, so I brought him down to 3, something like that. He was at extremely low life. And then during his upkeep, I flipped this, got a 2nd wolf token, and then I think on the play, he couldn't do anything. He didn't have anything in his hand. So it flipped again, hit him for another 2, and then when I drew, I think I had game right there, and I just gamed him. It was just amazing. All day, this guy just dug me out of holes. In the match report, you'll really see, I mean, it was just, you know, almost hopeless. And then I top decked him, or, you know, had him late game. In the blog, obviously, or not the blog, in the match report, I did make a really new mistake with him. For some reason, I don't know why, I thought Mana Leak was 3 colorless. I played against Mana Leak so much, I don't know why. And I cast something, he didn't Mana Leak me, I cast this, and I didn't have the 3 mana open, I only had 2 mana open. But obviously, you know, mistakes. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the match report. Obviously I don't have my Immerwolves, but they put in a lot of work all day. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching, rate, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think of the match report. Peace.